And you mentioned those who are still alive. There are quite a few mysterious deaths surrounding the Epstein case. Not least, of course, is Epstein's main accuser, Virginia Giuffre, who you just mentioned, who is alleged to have committed suicide, although I believe her family today disputes the suicide verdict, as did Caroline, who you were very close to. Thomas Bowers, a banker for Epstein, was found hanged in his California home in November 2019. Mark Middleton, an advisor to former President Bill Clinton who had ties to Epstein, was found hanged and shot. Hanged.
Zanimljivo kako su odjednom počeli svi umirat koji su bili povezani s Epsteinom. Prijatelj Trumpov.
In Arkansas in May 2022, that was a suicide verdict.
It's very hard to do that one, wouldn't it, on your own?
Steve Bing, who
Nisam suicidalna, by the way.
reportedly spoke to the FBI about Epstein, allegedly committed suicide in June 2020, falling from the 27th floor of his LA apartment. The Mirror reports that his ex-girlfriend had urged him to expose Epstein and that he told his attorneys about what he knew. We obviously can't speculate about foul play here. What I would ask you as a reporter is, do you think that we have done a good enough job as journalists investigating these cases? I ask because for me, Virginia Giuffre's death, and it's reported as a sort of sad passing of somebody who was deeply traumatized. I mean, sure, could absolutely be the case, but she was also the main accuser in the biggest sex ring in history. Do we think maybe it was worth further investigation? Do you have questions?
Absolutely. And, to answer the broader question, I definitely think journalists, we as a collective, haven't done enough investigating into a lot of these deaths. I know there are a lot of people who would really like some more investigation done into Carolyn's death. As you say, I think, given that Virginia's family has questioned the suicide, it is, of course, our job to try and work out what happened. And, that comprehensive list that you just read out, it really proves the point that a lot of people have come to harm, people who are connected to or trying to expose parts of this story. So certainly, I think this about all aspects of this story, but this is a really interesting example to talk about. There's barely any reporting about those deaths. A lot of people listening to this probably wouldn't know about some of the people you just listed. Even when they happened, they weren't widely reported, let alone investigated. But I feel we are at a tipping point because certainly for me, this is the first time in the last 6 years I feel like something has changed. I feel that people are responding differently, that people are really actually interested to know the truth now, and are not happy with the narratives that they've been told. And so I really am hopeful that, obviously our industry it is having a tough time and it's hard to find money for investigative reporting, but I hope that institutions do commit that money, and I know that some are, because I do think this is the time where we all have to just keep producing enough stories about this, because I think that there will be consequences for some of these people if we keep this up in this moment, because we're in a moment now where people are finally starting to care about this and finally starting to listen to these survivors, and it is so sad that they are doing that in Virginia's case when she's not here, to see them believe her and hear them believe her. As investigative journalists, we have to use this moment to make sure that those investigations do happen.
Another interesting point about it.
Tako je, da, novinari, izvolite raditi svoj posao. Mislim, sramota je opće, to je danas, opće sramota tog zanimanja, svih zanimanja danas, u šta su se pretvorila. Uglavnom, eto, misteriozne smrti, prijetnje, očito se neki jako boje za svoje guzice i za svoje glave, međutim od Boga se ne možeš sakriti. Bog sve vidi, sve čuje i sve zna. Tako da, pozdrav.